What is up, builders and makers? It is me, S is Terrified, and I'm here with a model kit that my mother got me for Christmas, and I did not start assembling until March and did not finish assembling until April. Don't judge me. This is the Cute Room Box Theater kit. I think that's what it's called. That's what it says on the box. And this is number 4004, nice palindrome, countryside notes. And you get pretty much everything but scissors that you would need to put this together. There are other tools that make it more helpful, but if you only had to get one additional tool, you would only have to get scissors. Because it comes with glue, it comes with a little pair of tweezers, it comes with a lot of the paper stuff is in the booklet for the instructions. It's all at the back of the booklet. You get a nice little stand. You get every little piece that you would need. And yeah, so it's a really nice little kit. I have to apologize for the absolute state of my hands. My eczema's been real bad this winter, like, holy Christ, just the worst. And, you know, that's in part due to excess hand washing, which I think we're all doing more of, and I was already doing a lot, and partially due to just stress, because it's been a stressful time for all of us. So my eczema was bad. Also, you know, my cat got sick again, and I had to start him on a new medication that was pills this winter, and my vet had shown me like the best way to pill a cat, but there are still incidents sometimes, and so I've got that big scratch that is still healing. So just getting to it. I'm just starting with gluing the paper pieces inside the tin. The tin is a little bit bigger than an Altoid tin. And it's a little stage to assemble, and there's a little battery box because it lights up, which is the other, everything about this little kit is cool. So right now I'm just assembling the substrate on the stage, and it comes through with patterns for that as well. And a little bit of AstroTurf and So there's the AstroTurf. There's a lot of that corrugated paper, which I really like working with. And there was also paper with a printed stone texture on it. I'm really sorry, my camera cut out when I was assembling that little house, but that was so fun to put together. And all the pieces are pre-cut out, so you don't have to think about anything. But the paper pieces that you glue together, you do have to cut those out, and you have to be kind of careful with those. And there's a background to the house, and you put windows on, and there's these little bits of lace that you use to put the curtains. The window frames are also pre-cut out of whatever wood they've used, balsa probably. And I'm just getting that ready. Glue on the back of the house. And then we get to assemble the roof and put that on. And there's another part that I didn't get on camera, or maybe I deleted it, maybe I was too frustrated, but the texture that you put on the roof it's these pieces of twine that you're supposed to make fluffy, and I kind of didn't like that. Like, and you'll see later on in the kit, there's better material that I wish they provided more of to use instead of the twine. But I kind of did a sloppy job of that because I figured I'm not even gonna use it anyways. So part of the deal as well is one of the lights is inside the house, so I just used a safety pin to poke a hole in the back and just made it a little bit bigger, and then ran the wires through for the light. I also unfortunately missed recording a lot of assembling the little furnitures, but the furniture pieces as well. They all come pre-cut, and you cut little fabrics to put on the chairs and little fabric tablecloths, and I mean, it's not even a square inch that you're cutting. And it's a lot of glue. Hold on. I've got sort of a love-hate relationship with this glue, and I kind of wish I could get more of it. because it's messy. It gets everywhere. But once it's stuck real good. And I noticed that especially for the wooden pieces and even like little tiny metal bits that you have trouble sticking on, it dries in well, it gets tacky in like 5 minutes, and then it dries in 10, and it sticks. And I want more glue like that just for regular purposes. So there's this little gate also that you assemble for the background. And I did mess up at first and assemble it backwards, but I took it apart before the glue had dried completely. And just decorating it with some flowers and plants. This kit came with a lot of like fake plants, which is great because I use them a lot. And it's come with, I've still got extra fake plants that I can use for other projects, which is real nice. You know, A+. I love it. Getting the wire to stick to that porch swing was kind of tricky, but I just sat and held it for 10 minutes. And that worked. So there was another lighting component to this kit, and that's the little fairy lights. And before we start putting vegetation and trees and other decorations in, we're going to put those fairy lights in. So this little tree that I'm assembling was cool as well. It's this corrugated paper like that we used for the base. Plus there's this crepe paper that you put on top to give it a more realistic bark texture. And I kind of wish they had used that for the roof instead of the twine. I get that the twine is meant to look like a thatch effect, but I'm gonna hide it all in plants anyways. And the fake plants that it came with like dried flower plants, which I guess were real at one point, and then a lot of these plastic plants. And the plastic plants I used for the leaves of the tree, but I stuck them around everywhere. There were also tiny bits of gravel that I used to make a pathway and to cover up the foundation of the house because there was kind of a gap and a lot of glue. And honestly, anywhere that there was like excess glue, I just started putting more fake plant just to hide it. Just cover it up. Cover it up and pretend it never happened. And I think that strategy worked out real well for me. And then I just made sure that the connections were final and tight, and both lighting fixtures go to the same switch in the same battery box. It's really easy. It's color coded. There's a white wire and there's a light gray wire, but it's easy enough to see the difference. And the batteries weren't super great, but they're just button cells. You know, next time I'm on a Target run or go to the Jewels, I can get them and hope that I got the right kind. Button cells are kind of tricky like that. There's just so many different ones. I remember at one of my old jobs at the jewelry store doing battery inventory sometimes, and it was wild. There's just so many. So there's a little bit of electrical tape. Once I knew that the connections were as they were supposed to be, I just used some tape to seal up the wires. And I'm just grabbing a hobby knife to trim away some of the excess glue because there was so much glue. Oh my god. And then there's more pieces of paper to decorate the tin itself. Like there's little sayings. I loved assembling that little book, and I think I want to make more tiny books just like that, just for no reason. And someday, when I die, some relative is gonna like dig up a shoebox from under my bed that's full of tiny weird books like that. Probably. I don't know. So that's what the finished product looks like. But we're gonna populate it with bunnies. I do really adore these bunnies, and I think this is why my mother got this for me, is they kind of remind me of Sylvanian families, but they also kind of remind me of Animal Crossing, and she knows that I'm still very much into both those things. Like, it's the year of our Lord 2021, and I'm still playing Animal Crossing. But that's what it looks like. And you can close the lid. And that's what it looks like when it's shut. And then you open them back up again. And currently our back stairwell is enclosed, and I've just got it out on a little table there with one of my other model kits that I made so that my neighbors can enjoy it. I had brought it to work to show it off on my desk, but it's just way too delicate. Like, there's way too much stuff going on and too much paperwork and too many things getting shifted around that I didn't feel safe keeping it at work. So that's what it looks like. and thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all again real soon. And yeah, thank you so much. Bye.